Alrighty, hello, fellow silly geese. This is my first time ever doing something like an unboxing video. Usually I don't do that sort of thing. I have no patience and I just straight up open whatever it is. But today I'm going to do a really short little review of the newest Sega Disney merch. It's called their Dolly Classica line, which kind of blends the proportions of a doll with a plushie. The character I got from the line was Frollo because what led me up to these decisions can't fit in such a small video. But before I open this up, I have a plushie also made by Sega, also Disney merchandise, for comparison of materials, dimensions, etc. This is Azul from Twisted Wonderland. I got him from a local anime con a few years ago. He's supposed to be bag clip, but he's way too large for a bag clip, as you can see him in my hand. He's about, I'd say like 6 inches tall. He's as tall as an action figure. His hair is this really, really soft, like cloud minky. His face is like a more cottony minky that's a little bit more like teddy bear fabric. He has embroidered details for his eyes. His mouth is a little beauty mark here, which is very cute. They got all the details right. And his clothing, which is another reason why I have him here, is semi-removable. Like, it's this thin, still soft, but printed material that you could take off if you wanted. So I'm really curious to see how this compares to the robe that Frollo is wearing, because in a lot of the listing photos, the robe looks like it's this type of fabric. So I want to see how that compares, see if you could like maybe put him in K-pop doll outfits, because I've seen like a lot of like Victorian vampire-esque stuff. And yeah, I just love to dress up the shitty old man with Catholic guilt. So let's get that dude right out of the bag here. Let's see. Wow, I realized why some people have a little camera stand. You can see Jennifer there. Say hello to her. She's here for the new year. Let's see here. Okay, this was supposed to arrive February 15th. I'll take him out of the bag and pause here. Hold on. Sorry, there was an unnecessary cut, but wow, here he is out of the bag. He's freaking huge. I looked at the listing and I know it said, oh, 10 inches top to bottom. But for some reason, I feel like he's a lot larger than that. Like, just looking at him next to Azul here, I think that's a much bigger difference, given that like Azul's supposed to only be like 6 inches tall. Yeah, so he's definitely a lot larger. I paid $46 for him, so I'm glad he's a lot larger than I initially anticipated. And they aren't kidding. He does feel very much like one of those Victorian, like those classic dolls, like the ones that you, what do they even call them? In the 20s as well had them. They were like cloth dolls that you would put on your chairs. A lot of women had, they call them, which is really, really funny, especially given like the character context here. You can't see him, he's in frame now. I need to reshape his face because you can tell he's just been smushed against that bag. They would call them boudoir dolls, and they were like a little bit smaller than what we would consider to be American Girl dolls, and they are a little bit bigger than what we consider now to be fashion dolls. So I think that's the type of doll that they took inspiration from. I know they had a bunch of other characters that were like slightly differing dimensions. I think Maleficent was the same height as Claude. Not sure. I know Hades was a lot bigger. Obviously because of like his robe and stuff, he looked a lot chunkier. But let's get him out of the bag here. Since while you can see him, I do want to compare the materials that they used on him to Azul. All right, now he's out of the bag, and I can tell you about the materials that they used on him. So I've been looking at him a little bit. This material is a little bit more, let's see, comparing it to Azul, I think it's the same. But for some reason, it feels just a little bit thinner. It feels a little bit less bulky. Like Azul's feels like kind of like it has more, it also could be because of the printing. The way the printing is on Azul's makes it feel a little bit, wait a minute. Yes, it's the same. This is the same material across two plushies. But you see how Azul's face has like this roughness to it. It's a little bit more of like a teddy bear texture. Like it has a more visible nap to it compared to his super soft hair. I think Claude's face and his hair is the same super soft minky as Azul. Another thing I wondered about him, he looks so done with everything. Another thing I wonder about him is if his hat is detachable from his head. Unfortunately, no. This part of his hat here is actually just part of his head. So unless you would detach the entire hat and put Minky over this part, this blue part that is colored to match the hat, you can't remove his hat, which kind of sucks because I obviously love to like change Plushie's clothes and stuff like that. And this red part is, let me set him down. This part here is like more of a fleecy texture. Like I've actually had a scarf that's this texture. It's definitely more of a fleece texture than this material that's on both Azul's coat and the robe. And another thing, let's look at the robe for canon accuracy. So a lot of people, I don't know if it's canon or a headcanon, say that it has like these gloves. So let's see if that's even accurate on here, because some plushies include those little details, some of them don't. Let's see, like roll up his, oh good grief. He's got no gloves, nothing on under here. Good grief, he's naked. I feel like a Victorian seeing an ankle. But his little hands and arms are that same super soft minky, which is cute. Let's see, the robe is, I think, is it all one stitched piece? Yeah, it's all one stitched piece. I don't think, wait. Oh my goodness! That's bare skin. Scandalous. So, yeah, let's see if he has like those, in some angles, maybe I'll put it on the screen here. I have no clue. In some angles in the movie, you can see it has like these, I've seen people draw them as thigh highs, but like these stockings, I guess you could call them breeches, tights, I don't know. But they're like this dark blue color you see in some of his photos, or the reference photos. So let's see if the plushie was made with that. Oh, no, he just has little black leggies. Does that go all the way up his legs? I'm really curious now. Hold on. Not me like looking up his robe on camera. That's so awful. So he has like little pants or little tights. There's like a waistband here. There's a clear divide. This is even funnier. It reminds me of Kylo Ren's pants. That's hilarious. So you could technically take the robe off of him. He would have some pants or whatnot. I guess what you'd want to call these pants, or tights, which makes it even funnier. And he's pretty much shirtless under there. It's still the same super soft minky as the rest of him. And this is like a fleecy material, like the sash on his hat. Really funny because I'm also wearing like some fleecy tights today. I guess we're twinsies. There's a divide here at his knee. I don't know. Yeah, you can see that. So I think that's actually where a different color fabric could have been used to indicate like the blue, like in the actual film. I think that would have been a good idea. But thankfully, because of that division, that means you could do it yourself if you wanted, which is cool. But considering that this is an official licensed thing, Japan always does really well with their Disney merch, more so than the US. So there's that. But I would still add some more details to him if I could. But there's nothing better than kind of customizing a plushie to make it your own. There's some listings where this part, I don't even know what this part of his robe is called. My atheistic Satanist ass does not know about Catholic robes or even like judge garments. So this part had been missing in a lot of listings I had seen for him. So that's why I got this listing. And let's see, is it like Velcro in the back? No. Oh, it's glue. So that's probably just because of a result of rough handling. No, it's stitched. It's got a stitch. It's got a little stitch there. No bloody clue why that would be missing. So let me put his robe down a little bit. Oh, it kind of sticks to his legs. So that's why in some listings, the robe looks like awkwardly bunched here. Oh, I didn't even notice that. It's got like this little slightly wavy pattern to indicate the movement. because in a lot of the frames where you see that he's moving, his robe is really wavy and like blows in the wind. So I think that that's what they kind of tried to do here, was to indicate like a little bit of movement. And it's not enough that it looks off when he's just sitting there. It kind of looks like it's indicating that there are folds. So there, let me like, I get why in so many of the listings that these things on his shoulders are messed up, because of there being that kind of more flyaway fabric, and they're not pinned down on him. So that makes sense. He's just so done, but I love him. Let's see. Let me look at the little tag here, and I think I will end the review here. Let's see. The little tag just says Disney, and on the other side, Sega, made in Vietnam. Azul was also made in Vietnam. I can't read Japanese. Sorry, folks. I can read Chinese. I speak Chinese. But not Japanese. So it's really funny. Let's see. Oh yeah, the seller taped the tag shut. I presume so it would be easier to pack him away. I'll open it up, see if there's like any graphics on it, and then we'll end the review here. All right. Last but not least, here's the tag stuff. It just says the Dolly Classica. That's what I called it. That's the line name. Just product name, toy plush, all new material, polyester fiber. I guess it's because it's just different varieties of polyester. They're all very different fabrics, as I detailed. I'm laughing really hard. It says, "Do not eat." Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I love when they include like arbitrary warnings like that. I mean, never underestimate people's stupidity. There are some people that need directions for shampoo. That's all I'm going to say. Don't place overhead. I think they're just talking about the bag that he came in, because, like, what are you going to do? Smother someone with a plushie? That is a hilarious statement. What a way to die. Remove all tags, obviously. Oh, good. We got care instructions. Okay, that's hand wash and nothing else. Yeah. So, like, obviously you're not going to iron him. You're not going to, what is that? I forget. One of those stands for starch. One of those stands for, bleach. One of those stands for dryer. So basically, if you have to wash him, you hand wash him and line dry him. Imagine pinning him by his two little arms here to a clothing rack and him line drying. That would be really, really funny. But yeah, that's good to know. And let's see here. It says made in Vietnam. Here's the location for Sega. Oh, here's the official Sega Plaza website, where you unfortunately can't buy them, but they are listed. 6+. That's really funny. You know, the more you think about it, the more it's so strange about his marketing. In Japan, like, they include him in the line of villains all the time, but Disney's like just shoved him under the rug, you know, because probably there's like so many things like you can't explain to children. It's easy to explain to other villains' motives, but like you're gonna get into some really heavy topics when you talk about him. There's the barcode. I don't know. I've seen people do this with doll reviews, so you can find barcodes places. I highly doubt that you can find this anywhere in the US where I am, but maybe if you live in Japan, you can search for this barcode. So yeah, that will be all. Say bye to Azul. And yeah, I love this little bastard. I also made this for him, and it's to scale. It's a little bouquet of lilies. I'll try and fit it around his wrist. I think it'll work. But anyways, that'll be all.